Today we will be dissecting our sheep brain. There are 3 layers of meninge that cover the brain. The outermost layer is the dura mater, the middle layer the arachnoid mater, and the pia mater being the innermost. The cerebral cortex is the outermost portion of the brain, right on top of the cerebrum. The cerebrum is made up of 2 hemispheres, and it is divided in the middle by the medial longitudinal fissure. The cerebrum is the largest portion of the brain. We also have the sulcus and the gyri. The sulcus is the groove between the gyri, and a gyrus is one of the folds on the cerebral cortex. The brain has 4 lobes, the most anterior being the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe has the primary motor cortex located within it, along with Broca's area. Broca's area deals with creating speech. Posterior to that, we have the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe receives and interprets somatosensory information from the peripheral nervous system. The temporal lobes, laterally, have the auditory association area within it, along with part of Wernicke's area. Wernicke's area deals with recognizing speech. Wernicke's area also crosses over into the parietal lobe. Posterior, we have the occipital lobe, which deals with vision. Here we have the cerebellum, which is second in size only to the cerebrum, and it controls balance and muscle coordination. On the underside of our brain, we can make out the brainstem, which is made up of the medulla, pons, and midbrain. We'll talk about those in a moment. We have the spinal cord, and on the anterior side, we have the olfactory bulb, which contains cell bodies of neurons that synapse with neurons of the olfactory nerves. We have the optic chiasma, which is where the optic nerves cross. The large band of nervous tissue here connects the 2 hemispheres and is known as the corpus callosum. The choroid plexus is located in the roof of the ventricles and contributes to the production of cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebral aqueduct is a channel that connects the 3rd and 4th ventricles, and it contains cerebrospinal fluid. The 4th ventricle is located inferior to the cerebellum, and there are 4 ventricles in the brain. The diencephalon is made up of the thalamus and hypothalamus. The thalamus is a sensory relay center. Sensory nerves enter it and their impulses are sent to the appropriate regions. The hypothalamus is responsible for homeostasis. It controls body temperature, appetite, fluid balance. The pineal body is part of the endocrine system and it secretes melatonin. The hypophysis, also known as the pituitary gland, is also part of the endocrine system, along with the 12 cranial nerves are not shown in this specimen. The hippocampus is involved in creating short-term memory into long-term memory and also involved in emotional states. The pons contains nerves that connect the cerebellum with other parts of the brain and spinal cord. The medulla, inferior to that, is the most inferior part of the brainstem. It contains centers for heart rate, blood pressure, and respiration. The midbrain is the part of the brain between the pons and the diencephalon. And the arbor vitae pattern can be seen here in the cerebellum. Here we can see the gray matter and the white matter. The white matter is made up of myelinated axons, and it is within both the brain and spinal cord. The gray matter is also within the brain and spinal cord and is made of cell bodies, dendrites, and unmyelinated axons.